All right, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about taking real control of our data. We're moving past just storing information. We're going to learn how to actively manage it, how to change it, and how to keep it totally up to date using Python and SQL. So let's just dive right in. This is a question everybody who works with data has to ask themselves, right? Because let's be real, data is almost never perfect. People's details change, products get updated, and hey, typos happen. So being able to fix and change that data, that's not just a nice little skill to have, it's absolutely essential. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a why, and then we're getting straight into the how. We're going to connect to our database, learn how to delete records we don't need anymore, update the ones we do, and then I'm going to set you up with a little practice session. First things first, why do we even need to change data? Well, think about it. The world around us isn't static, so why would our data be? Data is dynamic. It's supposed to be a living, breathing reflection of reality, which means we have to be able to manage it and keep it flexible. And to do that, we need to speak its language.
And that language is SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. You can kind of think of it as the universal translator for databases. It's how we give it commands, whether we're just asking a question or, like we're about to do, telling it to change something for good.
Okay, let's get practical. Before we can start firing off SQL commands, we have to actually open a line of communication from our Python script. I like to think of this part as our pre-flight checklist, just a few crucial steps to get us ready for takeoff.
There are really just 4 key steps here. First, SQLite.connect. That just opens the door to our database file. Second, we create a cursor with db.cursor. Now, a cursor is just like that little blinking line in a text document. It's what we use to actually run commands inside the database. Third is cursor.execute. This is the fun part. It's where we actually run our SQL code. And finally, and this is so important, db.commit. This is what permanently saves your changes. Seriously, if you skip this step, it's like writing a whole document and then just closing your laptop without hitting save. Poof, all that hard work just vanishes.
Okay, we're connected. Let's learn our first modification command, how to delete records. This is what you'll use when you need to completely remove a whole row of data because it's old, it's wrong, or you just don't need it anymore.
Let's just take a look at this script. The beauty of it is how simple it is. Look at that line, delete from tutor groups where student ID equals 1001. It almost reads like plain English, right? Delete from tells it which table we're messing with, but the most critical part, and I can't stress this enough, is the where clause. This tells the database exactly which record to get rid of. You have to be so careful with this. If you forget the where clause, you'll delete every single record in the entire table. Not good.
And just like that, it's gone. Here's a look at our database table after we ran that script. You can scan right down the list and yup, student 1001 has completely vanished. Success! That record has been permanently deleted. But what if you don't want to delete the entire record? What if you just need to fix a typo or update some details? Well, that brings us to our next core skill, updating records.
The command for this is, you guessed it, update. The structure is pretty similar to what we just saw. Update tutor groups tells it which table to work on. The new keyword here is set. This is where we lay out exactly which fields we want to change and what their new values should be. And just like with delete, that where clause is our laser-guided targeting system. It makes sure we only change the one record we actually mean to change, in this case, the student with ID 1006.
You know, the change is just so obvious when you see it side by side. On the left, check out that bottom row, Jackson Brown, student ID 1006. Now look at the image on the right. That same exact row has been totally transformed with all the new data we fed it. And here's the play-by-play of exactly what happened. The student ID was changed to 1001, age to 15, year to 11, and the tutor group to 11Y. It did precisely what we told it to in our set command. This is what I mean by having surgical control over your data. It's powerful stuff. Okay, so we've covered the 2 big ways to change data, deleting it and updating it. Now it's time to make these skills your own. So here is your challenge. The cool thing is these concepts work no matter what the data is. So find a practice database. Maybe you have one with car information. It doesn't matter. Pick one record, any record, and use the delete command to get rid of it. Then find another record and use update to change its details to match what you see here on the screen. Honestly, getting your hands dirty and trying it yourself is the absolute best way to make these ideas stick. So there you have it. You now have the power to delete and update records in pretty much any database using Python and SQL.
This opens up a whole world of possibilities for creating dynamic, real-world applications that can actually adapt and change over time. Your data is now under your control. The only question left is, what are you going to build?